Greetings, I'm Chappers.
And I'm the captain.
And welcome to what is our last video of
It is
the
our
weekend,
last video of the day.
But it's probably not your last video that you'll watch ever, since there have been over 500 of them.
500?
Over 500
1,000.
since we've been here. And Andertons.co.uk in the heart of Guildford.
Well, in the immortal words of, was his name Jerry Anderson? I've just got Thunderbirds and Firebirds mixed up, haven't
Professor Drew Bypass.
We are Firebirds, our go. I thought we would grab some of the... what are you doing? You're ripping the plastic off.
I just realised we hadn't taken the plastic off of this one, sir.
You're removing the protective sheath.
And it's just adhered to the wall next to me.
So, basically the Firebird is a crazy ass shaped guitar. Another one of sort of Gibson's amazing kind of... what would you call these?
Guitars.
Yes, you'd call them guitars, wouldn't you? But, you know, another creation that came out along when you had, you know, V's and Explorers and Thunderbirds.
When they were being a bit risque.
Yeah, when they were kind of being a bit risque and trying to sort of reinvent stuff. So, I guess in a way, you know, Rob's is pretty close to what you Rob's is basically a 2016 Firebird 5, but Rob's got the high performance spec.
Ooh.
Now, actually, on the Firebird, the high performance spec isn't as different perhaps as the high performance spec is on something like a Les Paul or an SG. So what Rob has got is a very slightly wider neck, a very slightly smoother sort of heel joint.
It really does feel like a much more modern guitar though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played a few of these in my time. I am very partial to them, but this has got quite a nice modern feeling, wide neck of speed, which is why I couldn't help myself but shred in a really inappropriate way.
Yes, it's probably not a shredder's guitar, is it?
No, well, it absolutely is for me. To play. Titanium nut, which is never going to die no matter what you do to it. You could burn it and pilfer it and freeze it, it'll stay laughing at you.
The automatic tuners, G-Force automatic tuners.
I'd love to know what woods they've used in this wood thing.
It's a whole kind of ply, isn't it, of different sort of timbers, predominantly mahogany. I don't know, to be honest with you. I shall.
You know what we should do? We should phone up at some point, not now, but another time. We should phone up Tony and ask him.
Professor Tony
Wood. Because he would know what this was.
We should ask him, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, of course, one of the big... So, Firebird is quite a different feeling and sounding guitar within the Gibson range. So the first thing is, the feel of the guitar is very different because, the neck is joined to the body really right at the tip of the body. And so you've got this almost like you're playing a regular guitar but shifted sort of 6 inches to the left.
But when Lee says it joins right here, obviously it's all the way through.
Yeah.
But it's
fretboard
physically on the body here, so that it feels like it's much further away from you.
The pickups traditionally on a Firebird, not always, but traditionally will be mini humbuckers. So again, a slightly different kind of sound to a traditional humbucker. In fact, we've got a limited edition Firebird down here with some classic 57s on it, so we'll be able to demonstrate exactly kind of how these sound different perhaps to a full-on humbucker. Same sort of switching that you'd get on a Les Paul, so you know, just a 3-way switch with your 4 controls, 2 volumes, 2 tones. Give us some maybe more sort of cleaner tones, Rob, on your guitars to what it sort of sounds like.
Let me just tune though. With my amazing...
Half of me wishes that all guitars had this now, but there we are. Or do I? Half of me does and half of me does. I'm with you. It's the quandary, isn't it, for sure.
On me, bro.
Can I go to the medium gain?
You do anything you want, man.
Because I think it'll be, you know.
You did medium gain it, didn't you?
Yes.
Mate? Well, that's the best sound that I've heard from this guitar. Oh man, it's just... There's something warm and round and beautiful about it. Oh! That's just great.
Not like about that.
This is
now,
really nice.
If you go for the traditional spec version of this, it's basically from where you're looking, you're hardly going to see anything different. The most different thing that you're going to see is the machine heads are different. So you've got the. And have you ever seen the backloaded well, not really banjo styles. They're Steinberger machine heads, but it's where you get almost like a volume knob on the back of each machine head, and it kind of so you don't see anything sticking out the bottom here. You just see,
this is what you see on mine.
Yeah.
Just if you can get a load of that.
But we'll have to just use a picture, an artist's impression of one, because we don't have a traditional spec one right here today.
You know what I noticed the most playing this guitar?
What?
Is that the fretboard is so much wider than a standard Firebird, and it feels like it's much longer of scale length. That the strings are a bit tighter, which means that when you pick fast, it feels really quite nice. It's got like. It's really responsive to sort of quick, fluid picking.
No, for sure. I mean, it's a cool guitar. I mean, they've changed the name, or the name that they're giving the high performance neck for 2016 is the soloist neck. So they're kind of what they're sort of saying is it's a little bit wider, a little bit more of like a soloist's kind of guitar neck rather than the traditional neck. So the guitar I've got is essentially a limited edition version of the Firebird that has this amazingly simple tremolo system on it called a Lyre, Lyre.
Tell them what amp you're using.
An Ignator Tweaker 40. It really is a bent bit of tin. Is what this trem system is, and I'm really not trying to sort of cheapen this. It's kind of.
I think it looks really cool though.
It's
kind of almost sort of.
It's not like a Fender trem
steampunk
system at all, where there's springs or anything like that. But what I like about it, in a way, is it's kind of the trem arm's always very close to it. And it's very stiff feeling trem system here. So it doesn't feel like small amounts of movement make the kind of wobble that you want. It's great. It's almost like when you'd have your palm on a tremolo, a traditional Strat tremolo, and just sort of do that. It's kind of that simple.
How is it for tuning stability? I mean, if you give it some, is it going to go out of tune?
weird. It's another one. You know, it's like another trem design. It's not like a Strat. It's not like a Bigsby. It's certainly not like a Floyd Rose.
I think because that's one thing and not lots and lots of bits interacting with each other, like multiple springs and units, I think probably it's more stable because it's one thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love. There are some guitarists out there whose go-to first guitar is a Firebird, but not many. But what as a guitar player myself, I'd love to have one of these in my collection, just because every time you would pick it up, it would give you a different experience, a playing experience to the guitars that you might go to first, and therefore, your brain kind of goes off on other.
You know what? Also, and this is going to sound a little bit deep and a bit out there, but because I don't really associate this guitar with any particular artist, when I'm playing it, I'm not trying to emulate anybody, and I'm really kind of accessing me.
Yeah.
What's it like with a bit of your dirty ODR?
Let's have a little listen. Let's take it back a little bit here and just. Really nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, it's just...
Nah.
I'm a little bit out of tune now.
What you need is one of them G-Force systems.
We jest a lot about that, don't we? And the reality is, in these conditions,
it's great.
You absolutely do. I'm trying to think, it's not the classic Firebird.
Well, I saw that being played on a twin neck.
Or was it just a Les Paul?
A twin neck SG.
Do you know where I'm getting completely confused there is, of course, their other classic song, Freebird, which sounds a bit like Firebird.
Yes, it does.
And now I'm getting completely Lynyrd Skynyrd confused. So we won't... Let's not go there. So this is just like one of the limited edition ones. So through 2016, the two that will be available all year will be this one and then the traditional spec version of this one. They're surprisingly, I was going to say affordable, probably the wrong word. In the greater scheme of how Gibson price their guitars, one of these is going to cost you more like an SG than a Les Paul. So these are about, the traditional version of this is like $850. And then the high performance version's like £1,100 or £1,200.
Wow, but that one is
a little bit dear. I think 13, 14.
And how much is this rock-looking bad boy down there?
This is really not trying to be traditionally authentic or anything like that. So this is what we call a non-reverse.
That was great.
Which is kind of bizarre, really, because your Firebird is a reverse headstock guitar. So of course, when they put the headstock on the right way round, it becomes the wrong way around, if you like, for a Firebird. So this is called a non-reverse headstock.
I love the colour.
Great colour. It's copper, kind of satin copper finish. Again, it's not a throwback to any kind of traditional Firebird finish. It's just done to be kind of
a different scratch
funky
plate shape.
Yeah, the Firebird has had different scratch plates over the years. The big difference on this is that we've got a Tunematic style, Les Paul tailpiece and classic 57 humbuckers on it. So we are just going to rock for sure on this. Now, I was thinking, if you, again, with your medium gain sound, just remind us of what that sounds like, but again, not kind of crazy driven.
I'm going to back it off.
And then we'll just go over to this, and you'll see the relative difference then between a mini humbucker and a classic 57.
So here's, neck. Brighter.
Yeah, not a massive difference.
But not a massive difference at all.
You're turning up now, so fair enough.
That's an absolute joy to play.
Yeah.
And
Do
completely...
you know what? Never ever ceases to amaze me. I know that the statistically speaking, the high performance necks are something like 2 mil, 1.5, 2 mil wider.
Feels
than
like so much more.
It's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
How I mean, not uncomfortably so, but this is a different feeling guitar to
absolutely.
the traditional.
It feels like it's less far away from me as well.
I've just missed something unbelievably obvious. That Firebird is entirely back to front.
Yeah,
compared to this
it's
one.
reversed. That's why I was sat here and I said to you, did we get a left-handed one?
Yeah, I see what you're
Because
saying.
all of a sudden I looked at it
So
and it was the flip.
It's the non-reverse headstock,
Yeah.
but kind of then the reverse
Body.
So do you know? Yeah, it's one of those things that did my brain. I looked at that guitar and took it out of the case and went, something's not right about that. But whatever, it's a Firebird, so off we go. But of course, it's like a back to front Firebird.
Just do a little tiny bit of neck when I've
It looks cool, that copper.
It does
doesn't
look.
it?
Yeah, man, all day long.
Right, why don't you? I mean, I must admit, this is the one for me. I love it. I love the tremolo system on it. I think that's awesome. Or if we ran out of these, I'd just have the traditional spec version of this one. They look great. I think Rob and I will just jam out on something. I'll play this one as I haven't played it yet. You might as well stay on that one.
But basically, yay Firebirds.
The backs of these are as pretty as the fronts, to be honest with you. I'd love to know kind of... I don't think there's any reason other than a cosmetic one that they kind of have this
Probably
sort of three-dimensional vibe to the back of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
They look so cool. And the front. They're so cool looking. I mean, I can't imagine in 19, whenever it was that these came out, that this must have been so space age, mustn't it?
Absolutely.
Don't you love the made in, and then wherever it's made, and then someone's gone, no, that's where we've got to stick the...
So,
So it literally just says made in, and that's it, made in somewhere. But I can assure you, they're made in the USA.
As is this one, by the way.
It's just fab.
Let's jam.